Hello everybody, this is Charu, founder of online magazine Womenlines.com. Welcome to Womenlines episode. A lot is happening in India, in the not-for-the-profit space. The focus on issues by various organizations historically is not limited to Indian policies and programs, but its alignment with global policies is remarkable. School is one such organization that brings in a very unique approach called cross-thematic inputs to impact health, which is aligned primarily with the goal 3 of SDG, that is Sustainable Development Goals, good health and well-being, along with other 16 goals. Dr. Bini C, who leads the organization, is here with us to share about school, which is SCHOOL, its approach and priorities. Dr. Bini C has been working in the space of local development with specific efforts on health for the last 23 years. She has her master's from Tata Institute of Social Sciences and her doctorate in public health policy of Government of India. Her passion and energy in her work and intense belongingness for her country makes her a professional that she is today. Welcome, Dr. Bini C to Womenlines. Thank you so much for your time. So, Dr. Bini C, can you share a little about your journey with our readers?
So, as you said, Charu, last 23 years, so 1996, and you rightly mentioned that Government of India has been involved in various global policies and programs, and it has actually improvised on so many things, starting from Convention of Child Rights to Reproductive and Child Health Program that actually started in 1996 when I started my journey. Okay. So I worked in the health sector, I worked in the education sector, I worked with women empowerment issues, and of course on child rights with UNICEF. Okay. There were a lot of programs that I did with the World Bank, WHO, and many other organizations. Okay. So, and the last stint was with Save the Children, of course, for almost 6 years. And so 23 years have been a very long journey. And for school, I must say that we actually began this journey way back in 2007. When we wanted to really work with school children. And that is the reason why it is called school. In fact, school is an acronym for Society of Community Health Oriented Operational Links, where we see that our last mile that we want to achieve is health and well-being, which is the goal 3 of Sustainable Development Goals. And we are moving towards it by working in the field of education, women, climate, gender, livelihood, and all of that.
Lots of stuff to cover. That's really interesting. So how do you see school contributing to growth of and development of India? Can you share about it a little?
Yeah, so the way you talked about cross-thematic inputs. So we say that there is not a single theme, not a single social determinant that you can work in solo or, in isolation. Okay. So if you want to work, if you want to impact good health and well-being, you want to bring about that change in the population of country, you have to work with education sector. So we work with children in education eventually to bring about health and well-being of them. So in fact, I must say that we are at a stage where we have very strategically and judiciously strategized and prioritized. So we are working on 2 priorities. One is the age group 10 to 19, and the other is, in fact, post 60. So wow. we are working with aged and elderly population. So these are the 2 groups that
opposite age groups. Why you have thought about these 2 groups only?
Because 10 to 19 are really, really vulnerable in terms of the way the culture is moving, both in urban, rural, and tribal areas. There is a lot to be done for the adolescents. We are actually going to have the largest adolescent population now in the next 2 to 3 decades. But at the same time, we realize that the same population which is today is going to become elderly also. And we should not, we should not ignore them, and they are equally vulnerable. So most people tell us, when we interact with people like you, they tell us, what about us? So we always say that you all can take care of yourself. Let us work for 10 to 19 and the age.
These two age groups really need attention, and lots of work has to be done for them. So what are some clear priorities of school, and how are you addressing the issues through school? Can you highlight about it?
So for each of the priorities, we have clear plans. So we have formulated a platform, crowning association called Teen Coalition for the adolescents. Yeah, so the Teen Coalition is again only for age 10 to 19.
Okay.
And here we have given an opportunity to most of the organizations working in the country to come together, have a cohesive voice, work on several aspects of adolescence like health, education, vocation, skilling, sexual issues, gender parity, and all of that. So all the organizations that are members of this, of course, we are almost launching this through a national level meet on 26th June.
That's interesting.
And
details about the event, so that can be part of it.
Yeah, and so we have invited policymakers, we have invited international organizations, donors, CSR funders, and of course the civil society that is actually making a difference by working with the adolescents. So it's going to be a huge gathering where we will try and influence policy making processes, program implementation, and of course we'll use this platform as advocacy and interfacing between government and non-government.
Wow, must be a big plan and lots of things to do that day. So how will you make sure that work will eventually impact that last mile, good health and well-being, as you have mentioned?
So, like I said, when we are talking of teenagers or we are talking of the elderly, the current wave and also the understanding is very clear amongst the government stakeholder and also the international plus non-government stakeholders that you cannot work with one single sector alone and bring about a change.
Very true.
So for every issue, everybody is talking about multi-sectoral engagement. So Teen Coalition is again about multi-sectoral engagement. You invite all the sectors together and ask them to work together. Similarly for aging, like we are working on again establishing a multi-sectoral engagement platform with WHO, where we are going and reaching out to different states, ministries, stakeholders across the country, where we are having roundtable discussions and actually asking them about their perspectives, their understanding of the problems of the elderly. Okay. So if you see, this multi-sectoral engagement framework, which is going to be used for the decade of healthy aging, 2020 to 2030, is where we want to contribute.
That's interesting. Have you carried out any activity in any city you want to share with the readers, that viewers? You have shared some, you have done some activity in some city in India?
Yes, so exactly. So we have just launched a program in Pune city where we have adopted 2 slums.
Okay.
And there are about 500 elderly people, men and women together.
Okay.
And we started activities with them. So the gist is that we have lots of play groups and play schools for children. But we now ought to have these for the elderly also.
I got it. It's a beautiful thinking and so thoughtful about you. I mean, nobody thought like that. And it's a real concern. I mean, aging group is there and they need same pampering, because we say that aged people are just like babies. So they have to be taken care like babies. So I'm sure this project is going to be hugely successful and you should be getting attention from throughout the world. Fantastic. Please share more.
So once we are able to, so we've launched this program in Pune city for the elderly people. There are 2 slums which we have adopted, and there are about 100 women, old men and women out there. So the gist is that just like we have play schools and play groups
Yeah, you
for the
mentioned
children,
that. Yeah,
yes,
they will be taken
uh,
care of.
yeah, we'll have it for the elderly people now.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of learnings, Charu, which we didn't think of. The men want to be a separate group. The women want to be a separate group. They want to enjoy thoroughly. They don't want to come and be a part of this play school with their spouses. They are
Wow.
saying that we want freedom.
They want their own space at that age also. Beautiful. Good to know that. So where do you think school is moving in next 10 years?
So there are three clear spaces which we think we want to make a difference, and 10 years we are going to dedicate for that. There is a lot of input that is required for policy change. So
Okay.
we work on that.
Okay.
Program implementation, we need to focus and come out with clear models for both the adolescents and for the elderly. And third thing, it's going to be a lot of work as far as advocacy is concerned.
Okay.
So advocacy at all levels, national, international, with the civil society, with our populations at large. So this is where we are, and we really look at us as a very strong technical team, which can do
hardworking team. I must say hats off to the whole team, because the number of projects you have mentioned, it's huge, and you need collaboration with right mindset of people across the country who can work together to achieve success in this field. So
Yes.
yeah, good wishes for that. How's the team working, collaborating across India?
Yes, across India, we have experts in different states.
Okay.
We have a lot of mentors and advisors working with us. So, because these are very, very specific areas where we need technical expertise and experienced professionals to contribute.
Very true.
So we have a very good team in place as a core team that we call, and then we have these set of advisors giving us all
do mentorship. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Awesome to know. So what help you require from international level viewers, how people can help? Please do mention about it.
So Charu, very important policy advocacy with the government. We have the intellect, we are doing that, but we need more intellect, more funding when it comes to implementation of programs.
Okay.
See, because when we have to reach people in the field where they exist, where they reside, it's a lot of programming, a lot of implementation where you actually do activities and impact their minds.
Very true.
So it's both. We request for contribution in terms of intellect, in terms of funds, in terms of volunteerism.
Volunteer. So that means you might be in need of sponsors. So you also need help from all research companies who can invest in the projects and help in doing the research work also?
Yes. So it's research, it's building more knowledge, it's also changing behaviors of people. So actually going to the field, and it's a lot of policy advocacy. These are some very key areas that we need people to work with us.
So please, viewers, take a note of it. And if anybody can contribute and be part of this project, please reach out to us and let's contribute to their project and help them out there. So anything you want to highlight about the event which is on 26th?